Try to imagine all life as you know it stopping instantaneously and every molecule in your body exploding at the speed of light.
Total protonic reversal.
Protonic reversal.
Protonic reversal with your host, Conan Neutron. Broadcasting from a secret underground lair in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
A gigantic middle finger to everything that is rock about music, rock and roll, and corporate power.
The thing is, though, if you don't laugh, you're going to go on a killing spree with sharpened nails.
Confidence of a hero or a fool, I wasn't exactly certain which.
Could not be more professional.
It means something. It means something. You know, that's my take on it. Like, what's yours?
Protonic reversal.
That's like a science thing, right?
Indeed it is. It is a science thing. It is a science place. It is a scientific fact that we are all up in your face. It is time once again for the one, the only Protonic Reversal. Welcome to it. Episode 452. Two guests for this one. This is gonna be an interesting one. I'm gonna have to set it up a little bit to kind of give you guys the context for it, but I'm very excited for it. It's a cool project. It's a cool record. The record's called DRUMCORPSE, which, as the theme song was playing, I realized may or may not have been a play on the words drum corps, and that is something I literally just thought about. I've been hearing this record for weeks, and it just occurred to me. Anyway, I've been busy. Don't at me, all right? So I'm going to be talking to two of the fine fellows on this record, fine drummers from excellent bands of their own, worthy of their own conversations, but coming together for the greater cause of protest, providing a cool soundtrack for protest, direct action, et cetera, et cetera. It's a cool record, man. I'm really into it. Before we do any of that, welcome to Conan Neutron's Protonic Reversal. I am your host, Conan Neutron. I'm a rock and roll lifer that's been touring and recording for 26 years, most known for the band Conan Neutron and the Secret Friends. Music is a huge part of my life, and I use the format of this very long-running podcast to talk about music with musicians whose work I enjoy and respect, but who may not be household names. This is episode 452. Now, if this is your first time listening to the show, archives are available for free, no ads, no sponsors, no kidding, at protonicreversal.com. However, if you want to support the show and get episodes sooner, $1 a month at patreon.com/protonicreversal will achieve that goal. And if you like the show or even just a single episode, please feel free to like, subscribe on your platform of choice, share it around on the internet, even leave a review. All that helps people discover the show. It beats back the almighty algorithmic overlords. It's just a darn nice thing to do, really. So, all right, a bit of housekeeping before I bring on David and Ian. Conan Neutron, the Secret Friends, going on tour. Mere weeks. 3 shows with Mike Watt, 2 of them with Lung, then a month with Red Cross. So check that out, neutronfriends.com. Songkick, bands in town, all that stuff. If you follow the band on social media, we'll be on there. There's going to be a few more shows that I'll announce at the end of it. Very interesting. You'll be excited. Let me put it this way. And by shows, I mean this show, this podcast. So it's not going to be a complete dead time, but there's going to be some pretty cool ones coming out. Just like this one. So DRUMCORPSE, again, which I just caught the drum corps thing. Quick study. Really, I am. David Silver's going to be coming on. He is drummer for The Great Season of Risk. Ian Prince, I know him from BirdHands. These are great drummers. This is a cool record. It's going to take a little context to get the conceit of all of it, but I'm really excited to bring these fellows on. Let's do it right now. Ian, David, welcome to the show, man.
Thanks for having us.
Hey there.
I just now, man, I tell you, I'm a quick study. I was like, oh, DRUMCORPSE.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
You know what? The idea has been in my head for years, but I was thinking about it like the old, there was a game called Exquisite Corpse where the surrealists used to do a drawing and then leave some lines leaning over the edge of the page and then hand it to someone else and they would pick up those lines and draw. And I thought about doing that with drum beats, like pass it to another drummer, they add a beat, pass it to another. But then in January last year, when this whole situation happened, it suddenly dawned on me what it could actually be. And then the corpse paint thing just seemed like the obvious
Sure.
thing.
Yeah, it's right there, right? Yeah. Well, and so that's something I think that's really fascinating is this idea occurred earlier, long enough for a record to be recorded and pressed and all the things that were required for records to be done before the ice occupation was happening.
Yeah. It was last year. I was going through Chicago. I saw Ian, and I was like, "I'm doing this record. I want you to play on it." And we're basically inventing a genre here because I sampled protest chants from last year's events, like the early ones happening in January, February, March, April, and asked my friends who are most similar minded and kind of active on social media as far as artists speaking out. So I saw Ian, I was like, will you play on this? We played with BirdHands in Chicago in April last year. So we've been working on it this whole time. We got the record done for the autumn, and we're going to release it last year, but then it got picked up by Record Store Day.
That's right, which is a great, when you're talking about something that is art is also the medium for a message, how great to have that larger platform, right? Even if it's just people like, what's that? What's DRUMCORPSE? What does that mean?
For a kind of weird record, it's cool to have the support of Record Store Day because it's like the instant distro thing.
Right, because you're not, this isn't going on tour, right? I mean, it would be amazing. Like, that sounds great, but like the level of effort you would need for that, I mean, come on. Like, there's no way.
I'm going to do some live events. Of course, it's really about, when you go to a protest and there's like 4 dudes with bongos and a chant sort of breaks out and then everyone's out of sync and then the drumming falls apart and the whole message gets lost. It's to correct
Never seen that happen, and definitely not all the time when I lived in Berkeley.
Yeah.
Where it's like, come on, keep it.
So,
does anybody know how to drum in this area?
Yeah. I want to hear
it's too high.
A Swans record, like crushing the fascists, like this overwhelming tsunami of resistance is what I feel. And so I never heard the sound. So I was like, well, let's just make it. And, it reminds me of, there was a band called Consolidated out of Berkeley back in the day.
Yeah, Consolidated. Yeah, sure.
Pretty obscure, but they were like super political. I used to see them back in the 90s and it was like, sampled political stuff and live music. So it was maybe somewhat inspired by those.
Well, and it's funny you mentioned that because one of the artists I thought of with this record at first was Negative Land. Like, oh, this is kind of a Negative Land kind of joint, right? Like, just that kind of. And because the thing is, and we'll get into it with the actual songs, but the songs, there is a musicality to them too, right? There's a musicality to the arrangements. There's kind of the interesting polyrhythms that develop. It's almost, you're hearing ghost notes of different instruments depending on how you're listening to it and where you're listening to it, frankly. But it reminded me like those great Culture Jam records, the Negative Land, where it was associated with, and just that when it was that dawn of like, well, there's no rules for music. We're gonna do whatever the hell we darn well feel like. And I feel like we should see more of that kind of thing. And I feel like things have become way more institutionalized as music has been turned into content. That it's something where it has to be immediately familiar or just doesn't have any chance on the market, right? So Ian, does that retelling match your experience of David bringing this up to you? Like, hey, let's do this. What's your take on how this all started?
Yeah, I thought it was a cool idea, and I was glad he asked me to be a part of it. At the time, I thought I didn't realize how much protesting I would be doing.
Yeah, which I want to talk about because that's talk about ripped from the headlines, right? I mean,
yeah,
he actually walked in from it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so Ian is in Minneapolis, and one of the best events that's happened that I want to shine a light on early while folks are tuned in is that Twin Cities Drum Collective event that happened in Minneapolis right after Alex Preddy was murdered. Yeah. Just an amazing event. Will you tell us about that a little bit? How did that come together? Who are all the drummers over there?
Because I was seeing short form video of it shared by non-music friends, I might add. Of look how badass this is. I was like, Oh,
Mhm.
yeah, like I'm talking to some of those guys pretty soon. So yeah, tell us how it came to pass, because I mean that's like definitely beyond just the world of freaky music or whatnot. Like that is transcending into something else. So I'm very curious myself.
Yeah. Well, I think the initial idea came from Noah Levy. He's a fantastic drummer. They did a drum thing on the Stone Arch Bridge a few weeks previously, which was really cool. It was like -9 that day, and they had about 30 drummers for that. And then Lane from Twin Cities Drum Collective, also from D4, kind of took that idea and wanted to organize even more drummers and do it kind of decentralized downtown, where we'd be grouped, on 2s and 3s on as many corners as possible, and right at 3:30 just go. And it was super cool. I wasn't quite sure, like, how is this gonna go? Just plopping into downtown.
It's
with
like
some
a drum
drums and
pop up.
just-
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it really was.
Well, and when you think of like what's the most disruptive instrument, that most people would
Completely.
consider, it's like it's gonna be the drums. Like what's it's like the punchline for every insurance commercial or something.
I mean, I'm from Boston, and where democracy was invented, and the drum and fife groups here are still real serious and still wearing tricorn hats and doing the whole thing. And like 3 years ago, New Year's Eve, I went up to Boston, and there was a group of 300 drums and fife that marched to the State House at midnight, and then they did fireworks. And I was exhausted before they started, but when the drums showed up,
yeah, you get hype.
it was like I drank a shot of espresso, and I was like, I get it now. Like, I would march for 9 hours right now. I totally would.
Right.
And that got my gears turning a little bit too. But I'm in this progressive haven here where massive protests happen
all the time.
Often, but we're kind of preaching to the choir. And I live actually,
like I said, I used to live in the Bay Area. I get it, boy.
Yeah.
I get it. Milwaukee's a whole different scene.
I live outside the city in like a super rural area, way out in the woods. So it can only do so much. So I just thought, let's make this make it a record, make it try to get a movement happening. So there have been people who have downloaded the extended tracks and used them in the No Kings last year.
Yeah.
It's starting to be a thing. And weird timing is now all of a sudden, like, Brandy Carlisle just raised $600,000 for Minneapolis, and Dropkick Murphys are like super active and getting very political. And
they're coming to town next week.
Springsteen and everything. But
the Springsteen thing, yeah, my friend Zach Blair was on stage with him. I'm like, what's going on? He's like, I'm on stage with Springsteen. I'm like, really?
Who knew that?
Crazy.
I mean, I guess we could have seen it coming that Minneapolis would get targeted the way it did first, but it just happened that Ian was there and involved already, and he's like much more relevant than me out in the woods drumming, protesting. All of a sudden, you're like in the heart of it.
Right.
Well, yeah, there's a couple of places to go with that. I do want to hear the rest of the story on that, Ian, because I think it is interesting. So it's sort of like an arranged time. Okay, we're all starting at 3:30. Let's just go. What was the immediate reaction to it happening? Because again, y'all remember flash mobs? Remember when that was like a big deal?
Yeah, sure.
It to me it was sort of like, oh, this is like the protest equivalent of that, which is awesome because of course that's what you got to do. Because otherwise, without getting into a rant about it, that the institutionalized authority is going to do whatever they can to crack down on dissent because that's what they're there for. Peace and love in my heart, but that's what they do. They've always done it, and they will continue to do it. So, the surprise tactics of doing that it was so interesting. So what was it just like, all right, here we go, and then people were around or like, what was happening?
we were downtown at 3:30. It was pretty bustling, and I wasn't real sure how it was going to go, but we kicked it off, and it was just a cool vibe. Like people were like kind of just coming out and checking on what was going on and honking horns. It was totally positive. I don't, as far as I know, nobody got messed with. It was just super cool. At one point, we were down there for a couple hours, and I ended up breaking a snare head, and
oh man,
I walked around a little bit, and it was just so cool that like you could walk from one corner to the next, and like as the drums were fading, other ones were coming in. And,
yeah, like the Doppler effect and stuff.
Yeah,
sure. Yeah, that's awesome.
It was rad. We had hoped to kind of start it off with a unified like beat that would kind of ripple through it, but it's like
good luck.
The people on the other corner aren't hearing what you're doing, and vice versa. Like,
it's like you better get your earpieces in too. Get the count off, right?
Exactly. We're all
also like as much as that's cool for like folks like us and that are talking right now and like listening to the show and probably musicians from that world. That's cool for us, but the average person don't care about that.
No,
they don't care about that at all. Yeah. They barely understand it. They were just like, oh, cool, whoa, drums, neat.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's an immediacy to it, right? Like it's something that there's a forcefulness to it that it's not something you can easily ignore.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's great.
Yeah, especially if it's elevated to this like louder volume and a unified crowd, then it's like it gains this kind of momentum that feels like progress. It feels like something is happening, like everyone is of the same mind. And that's the goal, is hopefully just to elevate the, these are noise demonstrations that are happening now.
Yeah.
Protest drumming has been around forever.
Absolutely, of course, yeah.
It's my hope is that this is just going to be a weird record in a few years that documents a dark time that's completely over. And
same.
And we're like, oh, that's a weird record. Not like Volume 17, the dark years.
Right, exactly. It's 17 where it's at. Yeah.
The darkening decade or whatever. Like I don't want that to be happening. But.
Well, and let me. So something I like about the record, and this is a good pivot for us to talk about the individual songs when I'm done talking about this, is that the first protest that I was at was against the Afghanistan war. It wasn't even the Iraq war yet. It was the Afghanistan war, where I just like and any young person who's politically active oh, the media's completely lying about numbers. Okay, so it's not at all like that. You have that kind of epiphany, but. So much chanting and so much bad chanting. Like people that are like, that's a terrible chant. Why are you trying to get people to chant that? That doesn't even make the onomatopoeia of that is terrible. And there's like people that are good at it, right? But there are times where it's like, well, people get tired and so they cycle in, they cycle out, and they're like, what are we chanting for? I don't even know what that is. And then people want to bring their pet issues in. It's like, no, everyone's here because they're against this war. This may be like, maybe we can stay on message for that. That might be a good idea. I'm like, yeah, free Leonard Peltier. I'm all about it. But like, is that why like this bricklayer from Concord is here? Probably not. I don't know.
There has been amazing footage out of Minnesota where the crowd has like just demonstrated so perfectly exactly what nonviolent protest and civil disobedience is supposed to be like, especially some of those like crazy spontaneous sing-ins. Have you seen any of that where they're outside the ICE hotel and they're like blasting them with love instead of like crushing dissent?
Yeah, what a contrast, right? And it's also like, what are they gonna say? Well, they're gonna bitch about it, but it's like, well, guess then get the hell out. Go back to rural Kansas or wherever the hell you live.
Yeah, I mean,
peace and love to the Kansas listeners. Thank you.
To be real clear, we had a sense of where this was all going, but ICE became unlawful in 2025 and became murderers in 2026. So it's like we were unfortunately prepared with this record, but did not at all,
Well, anyone with a sense of history
want it to go the way that it has gone.
Yeah. Anyone with a sense of history, especially about things like Kent State or something along those lines, you can kind of see like where this unchecked aggression is going to go, and it's never good.
I mean, that invented Devo. That's about the only good that came out of it. Highly political. But I want to also mention, the drummers on this. Ian, we saw each other last year because his badass band BirdHands, I absolutely love, one of my favorite bands. Alan is just like a prolific friggin' songwriter. My God.
Well, and BirdHands is so much different than Shiner, which is so much different than a solo stuff. Like it's all got its own voice, right? Good dude.
But yeah, that was one of the coolest things to come out of the pandemic. You guys doing that record, it was like, oh my God, that was really good.
Yeah, thanks.
And
it was so Motoric. I was like, oh, this is awesome. I didn't know what to expect, but this is badass.
It's even better live. But the other drummers we got that same night, I asked Noah Ledger from Fax. He was playing with his other band, Electric Hawk, and he's on the record. Kliph Spurlock from Flaming Lips. Yep. Blake Fleming from Dazzling Killmen.
Former guest of the show, too. Yep.
Greg Saunier from Deerhoof.
Former, 4-time guest of the show, although it's been a while.
Chris Enriquez from Spotlights.
Spotlights, yep.
Gherkin from Shiner. Kelly Scott from Failure. Matthias Bossi from Sleepy Time Gorilla Museum.
That's what's great. Yeah, they had I had Sleepy Time on right when they were first coming back. That what a treat that was.
Yeah, I know you've basically interviewed everyone I know.
Yeah, now you get your time in the box, right? Great.
Yeah, and then Eric Eldenius, who drums with Billy Idol and Dave Navarro, and Matt Chamberlain, who played on the first Pearl Jam and played with Bowie and was in the SNL band and has been modern drummers like People's Choice drummer like 7 times in a row or something. Just it slowly grew into these like other drummers being like, I heard about your project, I want to do it. And then I have a couple who I won't name names who are like huge drummers, and I was like, oh my God, I'm excited to have them on the record. And then they were like, you know what? Actually, I have to renew my visa, my wife's green card is coming up for renewal in 2 years, and I don't want to put her on a list, because they're list building. I'm on like 9 lists. Yeah, right. It's true.
And it's crazy to me that people are just like, oh yeah, that's just a thing that's happening. It's like, what? Like you stop saying that like that's normal. Like, right. That is like literally like a tool of fascism, and like you're sitting there being like, oh yeah, well, don't say anything. Okay, well that might not be the right lesson to learn.
I mean, I want to mention, this whole project, the whole idea is break even and make a huge donation to the ACLU, because the hope is that the rule of law and lawsuits and, the checks and balances are going to work. Because if they don't, then
we got bigger problems.
It turns way more ugly. So my hope is like, okay, there are still adults, and they're going to step up, and they're going to like the creeps are going to lose. Their ideas are too stupid, they're too illegal, and they're unconstitutional. They're just going to lose. And we're just going to go through this painful process of them losing for a while. But, we need to win soon.
Yeah, in the meantime, they're just going for broke. Just new lows every day. I just can't believe it.
I know.
Well, and the goal is to keep people overwhelmed and to keep people...
It's overwhelming. They're doing a good job of it.
They're doing a great job of it. I mean, I used to follow the news, believe it or not, for like, I don't know, fun might not be the wrong word, but I used to like follow the news like pretty closely. Sure. I'm like, I can't now because I will just be angry all the time, and I physically cannot be angry all the time.
Yeah,
I just can't do it. So I have to, I take my dosages kind of all at once, and I'm like, what are these a-holes up to now?
Yeah, their whole strategy was what they call it, flood the zone, right?
Yep, flood the zone.
It's unfortunately, although there's like dimwits at the face of this thing, it was an extremely well planned, I would call it a white power coup. I would not call it a presidency. This Heritage Foundation and Project 2025, they're 50% through their agenda already. It's Project 2025 thing. There's a tracker, you can watch it. So we need the lawsuits to kick in right now, and ACLU are doing the most. You know, they have almost 150 lawsuits against Trump and ICE. So that's where I'm focusing my efforts, is to try to elevate that a little bit. And
can I tell you guys, I just rewatched All the President's Men, which great movie, but like watching it like now is just like, oh man! First of all, investigative journalism. Remember that? That was nice.
Yeah,
wasn't that cool? But also like actual consequences for like a corrupt people in power. It's like, oh wow! Like how this goes to show how far we've slipped now. Where it's like, oh yeah, everyone knows. Nobody's gonna do anything about it.
No shame.
Yeah, whatever. Now we're on to the next thing. Okay, what?
It's just, it's a really bizarre, like, upside down we're in right now, especially with the just shocking immorality and lack of ethics and just bizarre insanity, like weird outbursts about the late great Hannibal Lecter, and just like every day there's some new completely baffling.
So quick aside, David, the second Conan Neutron the Secret Friends record, that's a concept record about Hannibal Lecter and the world around him, like it taken from the books, the movies, et cetera, et cetera. Wow. And this last year of touring, I would back announce like, this song off the Art of Murder record, concept record about Hannibal Lecter, who our president thinks is a real dude. And then, laugh line, like uncomfortable laugh line.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's where we're at, man. And it's like, it's idiocracy, but it's not funny, and that's what's so messed up about it.
Yeah. We were just on tour again recently. Ian was out with Sisters, and they have this new record that's about the whole Jim Jones massacre and the whole cult building mentality, and it obviously parallels what's happening, but Blackmore and Mario Quintero didn't like overtly
explicitly
talk about
state
that.
It. Yeah, right.
They just basically let it be surmised through the music, but I thought that was pretty brilliant, and that's an awesome record too. You should go see them live.
Yeah, I would love to. There's a time and there's a place for both too. There's a time and a place for like more direct. Like I laughed when I heard that second. I think it's the second Idols record where it's basically, I don't like the fascists, I'm going to punch the fascists, and I was like, come on, man, like that's like, what is this, kindergarten? What are we doing? Yeah. But then I realized like, and then I saw them play, and there's this packed crowd, in this big venue of like kids that were like down with it. I'm like, okay, so first of all, these dudes are playing, getting these kids into weird music through like whatever, that they can be like their gateway drug or whatever, but they want that like direct simplicity. They're not looking for like the nuance of really see it's an abstraction and the metaphor here. They're not looking for that, and that was quite eye-opening, because of course I'm looking at things from my own perspective, as everybody does, but it's important to be open to the fact that the avenues of communication has changed and we've become more of a short-form world. So something that's immediately understandable in that way, like, say, drumming protest, can have massive impact.
It's very, very, like, overtly stated, obviously. But at the same time, I try to make the record so it's not punishing for every listener, where it's just like, at a certain point, for the vinyl mixes, the chant fades, and there's a place where it drops out, and it's just about the drums. And you do get that. For the short mixes, and then the extended mixes are like all about the chant and trying to make it so that it would be possibly reusable out in a live event
in the world. Somebody puts on their phone and puts over the loudspeakers or something, right?
Yeah,
and it is such a very different experience listening to it on the record versus throwing on like you have it's on the Bandcamp, but like the extended remixes, like one of them, like it goes on for like 15 minutes, some other, like it's like they're significant difference, but in a good way, where it's like, you could. If you have ever been to a direct action protest, it's like 15 minutes ain't nothing, man. That's short time.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. 15 minutes is right around where you get mesmerized, and it's like, it made the mixing fun because the mix changes the whole time. We had fun mixing and matching the takes and the extra fills, and people played more than we needed. So we had a lot to work with. But I did not intend to make a 21-track album. It just like grew into that, and then I was like, oh my God, this is so much to mix and to record and to deal with. But we have Volume 2 shaping up, and another sick roster of
interesting
drummers lining up who are down to do this. So I'm just trying to like get past this finish line and get the record out.
Yeah, you want to get this one out first. Exactly. Yeah.
And go from there. But like I said, hopefully we won't be needed.
Yeah, right. That would be the best outcome for the project, is that you don't need to make a sequel.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do want to talk a bit about the songs and the composition and whatnot. But I also, how were the cops when you're doing like this direct action stuff? Were they being cool? Were they being a-holes? Was the big cool?
Yeah, be cool.
Thank you, Killdozer.
I didn't see a single cop.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're like, what? I mean, if they thought about doing something, they're like, what could they possibly do? So it was decentralized, so we were everywhere.
Because it's not just one person; it's a bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's like anywhere from 2 to 5 of us on every corner of downtown, basically.
And also, I'm sure the cops are like not stoked that there's an occupying force that's basically tromping on like the city that they're there to serve and protect, right?
Right. I would like to think that.
Well, but imagine that would be pretty annoying.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of support from the governor and the mayor, and I think even the police chief said something about like supporting, and obviously the National Guard was out like handing out hot chocolate and supporting the protesters. So there was a cool vibe that actually grew out of this whole thing. But not to downplay the seriousness of what happened with ICE in those first couple of weeks of this year, but the footage went global of what was going on in Minneapolis. You guys were leading by example with this, like, there are people writing articles about how successful Minneapolis was in demonstrating ways of resistance. Tens of thousands of people showed up and just walked out of work and did this.
Yeah, well, I think we kind of learned a lot from the George Floyd experience. Just about like nonviolent ways of protesting, because we know they're looking for that. They want to retaliate. So there were a few instances where I think these outside agitators tried to get shit going.
Oh, of course, they always do.
This one,
yeah. Like
one guy was like burning a flag, but then he was masked up. They're like, wait a second, you're not one of us. We're on to you.
Yeah, that's creepy.
Yeah,
but it's a constant concern, and it's something that happens. Even the most innocuous of peaceful protests is that it's the nature of it, the decentralized nature of it. To a certain degree, it's self-policing, but to a certain degree, there's nothing that can be done about it. You just gotta you gotta watch out for it. Yeah, and George Floyd too. That was weaponized. Mm-hmm. Like in the ways that's like, okay, so now you're outraged at the outrage. Okay, how about the dude that died? How about that?
Exactly.
Are we outraged at that? Oh no, just the outrage.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is all happening at such a weird time where we've got this we've lost consensus reality, and now AI is making everything really difficult to discern. Yeah. You can see it if you're accustomed to looking for AI, but if you're the average person who's not, it's really easy to spin all kinds of twisted narratives.
Well, and imagine coming up as a kid and having this as part of your reality, right? That's horrific. And it's not like we teach critical thinking in schools.
No.
That'd be nice. Can I vote for that? Can my taxes pay for that, maybe? And it's... Yeah, and it's so demoralizing too, and thinking back to the George Floyd protests, how much that was weaponized as like, oh, well, the reason we lost was defund the police. Well, that wasn't the reason you lost. The reason you lost is you didn't stand for anything. You focus group tested everything. And by the way, you don't have to like adopt something that sounds good being shouted, which defund the police does. Just call police reform. Do what the a-holes do. It's framed language, people.
Yeah.
Who's going to argue against police reform when the cops are getting up to nonsense? You know. But no, it's more fun to shout, defund the police, which I personally agree with. But I mean, it's not gonna. It sounds like something different than what you're asking for.
Yeah, exactly. I think the right is out.
They are anarchists. Like,
right.
It doesn't help to use those wrong phrases.
Language matters, and we've been dealing with multiple decades now of framed language being used against the people over and over and over again, and what exists as both our media system as well as the alleged opposition party just buying into those frames and engaging with them over and over and over and over again. And engagement with the frame only reinforces the frame. It's like, well, I'm going to call them out with facts and logic. Okay, yeah, but they don't care about that. It doesn't matter. They're like, haha, you suck. It's like that's the level of where we're at. I mean, I think Don't Think of an Elephant by George Lakoff should just be issued to anybody who's in political office, and you should be like given a test on it to show that you read it. But that's neither here nor there. There's no sponsors on Protonic Reversal, but I would definitely allow George Lakoff to have a say. Let's put it that way, if that was something that he wants to do.
I definitely bought like multiple copies of The People's History of the United States.
Yeah.
When I first read that, I was like, I should just like hand this out to people. Everyone needs to read this.
Yeah.
Get on the same page here, people.
Well, because A, it's interesting, and B, it's like when you think about like, what's taught in the schools, which is ostensibly founding father worship, we never even get to anything divisive, so therefore they're never going to learn about the Great Society, the New Deal, et cetera, which allows socialism to become a hate tulpa. Just anything I don't like is socialism. It's like, well, do you understand what the word means? Like, do you like the fire department? Because that's a socialist thing, but it's when you have something like Zen writing something like that, and you're someone that comes with a curious mind, like, oh, history is written by the winners. Okay, maybe it wasn't exactly the way they said it was.
I was lucky enough. He taught in Boston when I was living in Boston, so we got to go hear him speak a bunch of times, and then he actually lives half of the year on Cape Cod, where I'm from. So I went to see him also on the Cape in way smaller events, even a library fundraiser where about 7 of us showed up. And so got the chance to talk to him about protesting and like the experience of, all right, so George W. was president at the time of one of these. And I was like, the biggest protest in U.S. history just happened. Remember the one that wasn't televised at all, but they were like people banging on the side of his limo. And I was like, what happens when these massive protests happen, but they just get ignored and they don't have any impact anymore because the media is now suppressing news about them or distorting the story about them? And he was like, yeah, his basic takeaway was, keep protesting.
Yeah.
You just have to continue despite all of these things, because it's always the way that power won't hand out the concessions that you want. You have to take them.
Right. It's not in the nature of the power people in power to acquiesce ever. So, and interestingly enough, at that time, we could not have foreseen the rise of direct connection and social media, as much as social media has been commodified and turned into frame reality itself. But that didn't exist. I mean, think about on the first Iraq War, where we had to have Janine Garofalo had to express, actually, not everybody's into this, because they just wouldn't let anyone on to talk about it that didn't believe like the orthodoxy that was the the corporate line of opinion, which is go rah rah rah, go get them. And at the time, blogs were revolutionary. Oh, there's a thing on the internet you can write stuff and it shows up. It's crazy. And that was before the algorithm changed everything. And again, started giving everyone tailored experiences. So you have framed reality at a macrocosmic level, and everything's now like balkanized at best and atomized at worst. And so you have to have something that'll break through that. And the traditional modes and methodologies will not do that. And I say that gives me no joy to report that, but it's absolutely true. Like it's like the media is not going to report anything unless there's broken windows or something on fire. And any cogent messaging is going to be turned into the dumbest version of what's being said every time.
There needs to be smart disruption of their plans is the bottom line. And that's always been the case. I mean, the Bill of Rights that we now enjoy was only added after a bunch of outbursts and revilers and flaming pitchforks and people getting attacked and finally making it happen. So we're in a similar situation now where it's like the noise just has to continue. The pressure has to continue. You know,
until morale improves. Yeah.
There's the whole 3.5% of the population idea. I'm not sure if that applies in this scenario. I want to think that it will definitely succeed, but I'm not 100% sure. I don't know. America is a weird case compared to the previous cases where 3.5 was enough. But nonetheless, I think the more people are seeing like this Epstein stuff and like obvious lying and cover up happening, it seems like the tide is turning. It has to. We cannot let the dumbest knuckleheads win.
We don't have an excuse this time. We had an excuse the first time, but it's like this time it's like, oh no, we just suck. We suck right now. And like, it doesn't mean we can't come back from this, but it's going to be a tough road, boy. Yeah. And so on that, it's not that the novelty is always going to win the day, but people are being made to be jaded about things that they shouldn't be jaded about, like such as direct action. And that's fascinating to me because, again, you have everyone that they chose a target. They chose Minneapolis. You know, there's a lot of reasons why they picked it. We can get into it. Doesn't matter. That's the target that they chose. But if you're not in Minneapolis, you know, what can you do if you're just like, I can't believe this is happening, you know, in my country? You know, what can I do about it? Like, what is anybody doing about it? So to see something where it's like, oh yeah, we're not letting these bitches sleep. Great. You know, that's catharsis. And that's what
the word. That is the right word for it.
That is what we need. Because when you have this much frustration with no catharsis, no good will ever come of it.
It's not only catharsis though, although that's a huge part of it. And really the thing that made me a musician at all is not like a technical skill. It was all about catharsis for me as a drummer.
Same.
And it's that this civil disobedience is not cool or fun. Nobody wants to be out there doing it. 100,000 people in Minneapolis walked out of work and showed up out in the street and did this because it has to happen. We have to do it. It's like a civil,
cold as hell.
Civil,
it's like we have better things to be doing.
Yeah,
you know, like,
exactly. Yeah.
Or things we prefer to do instead. But
yeah.
I mean, it sort of felt like a part-time job. It's just like every week there's like multiple protests. Like, well, that's what I'm doing. You know, like there's just no other options. Like,
well, because what are you gonna do? Ignore it, right? I mean,
exactly. Well, also,
I guess some people would be all right.
It is sort of the antidote to like doom scrolling and just kind of paralyzed. It's like, you know, do something. Just. I don't know what the outcome's going to be, but it is catharsis.
I have to say too, you know, I did not procreate, but you've got kids. Like you've got this weird scenario, this equation where you have to explain this insanity that's happening, where the adults are acting like awful morons, and then be like, "Okay, kids, here's your world." Like, how do you deal with that?
Congratulations. Good luck. You're going to need it.
By going out and demonstrating and actually being like, well, this is what it's like to be a citizen, you can at least have that kind of positive takeaway.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Oscar, my son, helped me customize my bass drum head. He's really into graffiti and spray paint. So it was like
nice.
Fun little project. But yeah, he did a ice out thing on my kick head, and he was all about it, you know. And then it was on the news. The thing he made was on the news.
It was on the news. Yeah, it's so great. Dude. I love that. Well, and that's something where iconography matters. Visuals matter. Right? We become an increasingly visually oriented society. And the ability to reach people all over, not just next to you, not even like people like in your friend group, but all over has never been greater. Now, it's also been more random as to what will like you can strike gold on. But, like when you make something that people can rally behind, people will rally behind it. And
Have you seen the great video projection work by VJ Bombs? They've been doing
I've seen
light
that.
projection.
Oh,
on
yeah.
buildings.
Yeah. So cool. I love it.
Really effective. The art was important to me. I wanted to go for like a Raymond Pettibon kind of like old Black Flag vibe, which is why I got Abe Brennan to do the front drawing.
Right.
Because wanted to have that, like, this is obviously coming from like hardcore roots. Anyone who sees it will know where it's coming from. And obviously, I put the Crass logo front and center to be like pay homage or whatever. But
I'll throw it up on the screen for the video. Folks.
Abe has been he plays guitar in Dead Pioneers, who are huge right now. They just did this awesome anti-Nazi, anti-fascist anthem called Nazi Teeth. They're on tour in Europe right now, and he sings with Rich Kids on LSD.
Oh, sure. Of course,
as well. He used to be in Rich Like Me. We played together 30 years ago. But
so this is for video folks. This is what the record cover looks like. I was trying to pull it up. So yeah, we got a Crass logo on the shirt, right? Good, always good.
Hopefully, people will find it in their record shop.
Yeah.
April 18th.
I'll put a link to that, of course. And
hey, cool, thanks.
Yeah, and I'll also put a link to the Bandcamp that also has some of the extended digital and stuff like that along those lines. But yeah, so let's talk about the record. Let's talk about the actual record, like putting this together.
Yeah, sure.
Quite the conceit to have it be drum themed, because how do you make drum compositions something people want to listen to that aren't drummers? Peace and love.
I mean, I honestly didn't think about them once.
Okay.
I just purely approached it like we're drummers and we know what we like. And the producer that I recorded this with, John Evans, totally does the widest array of music. He plays live and has been on all the Tori Amos records, but he also does Ridiculon with Matthias Bossi.
Oh, sure.
Game
yeah. Which is very much it's a different niche, right?
Yeah, just completely insane, like a whole wide array of stuff. And Matthias is a sick drummer.
Great drummer.
And so
that was the first thing that I noticed about that band, about Sleepy Time. I was like, oh, he's fucking
so good.
Yeah.
Crazy. Like, what's happening here?
Yeah.
Because I knew him, coming from Idiot Flesh, being a Bay Area guy, and being like, oh, the Idiot Flesh guy, there's a new band, and I was like, oh wow, it's like a cool nightmare. Like, what's happening?
Yeah.
Like there really was. And there was certainly, not to get us off track, but the Bay Area at the time was like a hotbed for that kind of like weirdo stuff, right? And it's not far afield from like the more Baroque Neurosis stuff and things along those lines. And there's a crossover with experimental audio research and stuff along those lines, but it was wrong acronym. Survival Research Laboratories. Jesus Christ. But it's like it's something you're not going to forget if you're not familiar. You're like, whoa, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw Idiot Flesh many times back in those days. They came through Kansas City a lot, and my old bandmate was booking them at the time. They stayed at our place. They were just absolutely fantastic. That drummer Wes is just from another planet,
like an alien. Yeah,
but
complimentary. Yeah.
So making this record was basically, I collected the chants, and basically in a single day, I had John lay out the chants into 4 or 5 minute loops with the metronome, and I went in and just laid down the type of beat or two backbeats that I wanted to kind of set the basic bass line at,
Got a dog here, sorry.
We're a canine-friendly show. It's okay.
Yeah.
And then,
I'll let him out. What's that? Come on.
and then sent them out to, all the various drummers, and they did their recordings in either their home studios or at some local studio in whatever city they're in.
So kind of level setting, like this is the general idea. This would be the tempo, and yeah, like kind of like here's the starting position for you.
Yeah. I'm gonna just lay back and play kick, snare, hat. So why don't you do a toms thing? Or when I switch to toms, you do a backbeat. That kind of like very super simple, but like basically do whatever you want. Because I was just deferring to the awesomeness of all these killer drummers that play on the record. So
right, you want to have everyone's creative voice represented, because otherwise, why the hell is it a collaboration, right?
But at the same time, yeah, exactly.
But you also don't want it to be sounding like shoes in a dryer.
But at the same time, I'm communicating, by email.
That's a William Goldsmith one, by the way. But I'm going to use it for forever now.
I think there might be some shoes in the dryer here or there on the record, but I was emailing and texting, like being like, here's the track, blah, blah, blah. And sometimes people understood exactly what we were doing. And occasionally, like Gherkin, the first time he heard it, they just shut off my track because they didn't quite get that it's a 2-drummer thing. And he heard the chant and he was like, I think this wants like a Blondie disco beat. So he did this whole take on the thing that's just like constant fills to a disco beat. And then when we dropped in my drums, he was like, oh wait, there's 2 drums on this. 2 drums?
Yeah.
And so he went back and did another one. And but they all when you edit it down to 4 minutes to try to fit 10 songs on the record, you get to like make it more concise, but we have like all the outtakes and the extended stuff on the longer digital tracks,
which you can get the digital, and you can obviously there isn't a constraint for length like there is with a vinyl record, right? So, let's go through each of the songs and you tell me a little bit about each one. Why were these chants the ones that chosen? Where are they sourced from? So on and so on. Just give a little background with all of it, the other contributions, just like you did with the Jason one, right?
I mean, a majority of the stuff came out of Boston Common protests. There was a lot of them happening right from the start. I started with "We Will Be Victorious, Resistance is Glorious" because I wanted to come out with like a positive kind of message and talk to the responsibility of having to go out and protest, and that it's everyone remember it's a civil right, and this is a thing that happens sometimes, and Tree of Liberty and all that.
And that's the one Chamberlain's on that one, right? If I remember right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seemed like an obvious match to do something like super positive and just glorious is a big adjective. He's such a mental drummer. He did this thing in like a single take, I think, just like belted it out with changes every like 4 bars. Just like shocking precision. He's such a talented musician.
He's worked with so many like legendary acts too, like Leonard Cohen, like Dylan, that Chris Cornell stuff, Springsteen, Bruce Springsteen.
I was shocked to see Bowie on his.
Heathen, right? And the other 2000s record, the one after it, Reality.
That's right.
That one, which is the one that's got the Pablo Picasso cover? Speaking of Boston, I think that's Reality.
Yeah.
It's been a while, but what is that? It's like, oh, wow. Bowie's doing Jonathan Richman, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't have that on my bingo card, but it's still cool, It's like also when he did a Pixies song, it's like, all right, Bowie's doing a Pixies song, sure.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It all came out
Anyway,
of
David
his,
Bowie, everybody. Give him a big round of applause.
I know.
He kept us guessing.
He did.
He held the fabric of reality together. Now
I know,
that he's
it's-
gone, everything is just
It's been all downhill since then.
it's fading fast, man.
Yeah.
But
Man.
and then the flip side of the coin is no ICE, no KKK, no fascist USA.
Yep.
That was from New York City, actually, and it was protesters who were laying down in the street to block the ICE vehicles from being able to leave the headquarters. And,
Right.
of course, they're getting arrested and whatever. But it was, it's pretty succinct. It says,
it's in the title.
it says it like we mean it. And
Exactly.
it draws the parallels that you need to draw to ICE based on, they're showing their true colors at this point. It's not like what Homeland Security was intended to be. They're not arresting only the criminals. There's like five-year-old children getting arrested. It's absurd.
Well, notice how you never hear about the Proud Boys anymore, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Weird how that works out.
they're all employed now.
Yep.
Exactly.
But that was just a lucky fit to have Eric Eldenius do that track, because he bashes it out and it just feels like it's like a hardcore show, like a teenage hardcore show.
Yeah, I get that. Sure,
his
absolutely.
track.
Yeah.
Another just totally brilliant musician. Just
Yeah, and getting right down to it, right? Because it's like, okay, let's not try to obfuscate what the time period that we're in is. Like, this is the immediate threat, right? Domestically, it's like this is the. I feel like you could split the difference a little bit on what the foreign, which side of history are you on? Parts of it are.
yeah.
But I think domestically right now, it's like, look, you're either for like this fascist occupation or you're not.
Yeah,
And it's a pretty binary choice. And, how you choose to deploy it, look, that's up to you. But if you're like, well, they've got some points. Really? Please tell me what they
seriously.
are. I can't wait to hear about them.
not anymore.
No, not anymore.
No.
I don't really want to hear about them.
Last year I was like, am I really going to say no ICE? Like, I don't want to do another defund the police, because that's not the right language. And
Right.
ICE has existed since 2001. They were, doing normal police work until they changed strategy in 2017, I believe, with the zero tolerance policy. And it's just, started putting people in cages and all of that.
The militarization, the concentration camp aspect of it. Yeah.
Yeah. The whole concentration camp thing. So, I got on board with it pretty quick after I saw what was happening last year. That one, I ended up releasing that early when Renee Good was murdered. Obviously, in response to that, the same day, I just was like, I'm dropping this track. I was so pissed and upset about that.
Rightly so.
Footage, the killer's handheld phone footage just absolutely broke my heart. And so we just dropped it and donated the money to ACLU of Minneapolis, of Minnesota that week. And got the track out there, and just it's like an obvious fit to what's happening right now, unfortunately. So it was just like, this is what we're doing. A bunch of people jumped in, and some people pre-ordered the record.
And
are giving like crazy donations, which we're funneling right over to ACLU. But as far as the rest of the tracks go, People United Will Never Be Defeated. That's the only one that's got 3 full drum kits on it.
There's a lot happening there. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Matthias and Kelly both, right?
Yeah, that's right. So that one, we also all chanted on it.
Yeah.
Matthias, myself, and John Evans. I wanted it to feel like a group thing, and more of like, this is the actual experience at a protest, or like even, a drum circle or whatever, where it's a little bit more free form, and Matthias just went ballistic.
Yeah.
Improvising on the whole thing.
Yeah. There's some real cool kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right.
And again, kind of lead with the positive on side A as far as trying to be like, this is a chant that comes up every single day in every single city. It was also from Boston, like most of them are. And yeah, Kelly delivered more of like what you would do if you were out at a protest, which he's been doing in LA, because LA also got this before Minnesota.
Oh, I remember the last night of our tour, we were playing LA, and that's when all that happened. And so we had the playing a rock show while there's, people gathering in the streets to like protest this thing that happened that day. So I remember it well.
Yeah,
I was like, what? Because it's like you get that weird thing where when you're at sea, like your news kind of comes in drips and drabs and weird. I was like, what's going on? What crazy time.
Hell in a handbag. That's what's going on.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's very, very clear. It was like, now I know what's going on. Okay, that's horrible.
Tax the rich. That's one that is usually used in more direct actions. Like people will go to a fancy GOP restaurant, and then after everyone sits down, they'll stand up and call someone out who's in the building. But this one was actually a protest at a Tesla dealership right after Elon started throwing his Roman salutes.
Oh man, yeah.
And there were flaming, melting Teslas in the background, if I remember correctly. So, and since then I've seen that chant bust out, all over a million TikTok videos. It happens fairly often. It's obviously a topic that isn't going to end until it happens. So that chant will be around for a while.
Well, and then the direct nature of it too, I think, is also meeting the moment, because it's something where elected Democrats will do anything to not say that that's what they're gonna do. The contortions that they will put themselves into to not say that. And meanwhile, people in Europe just tax them. What's wrong?
Right.
What do you? What is it? How is this a debate? What do you
remember the 1950s when the middle class was thriving? That's why.
Yeah. Why do you think that happened? Yeah.
But not don't take away our Social Security entitlements, which is their plan.
Yeah.
That's what they would rather do.
They're the ones that coined the word entitlement, and it's like that in and of itself is framed language. It's meant to evoke the idea of, well, why are you entitled to that?
AKA propaganda, AKA misinformation.
Sure. I mean, it's all part of it.
So many people are constantly being like, yeah, well, the illegals, that was not a word in the English language until last year. That's not a word. Illegals is not a correct. That is propaganda that people just accidentally start parroting.
Right.
And suddenly they're like unpaid interns for the Koch brothers.
Well, it's not accidental; it's planned. But yeah,
yeah, 100%.
It's so annoying
if you have a thing and it works for you, and you can just keep doing it over and over again, have it be unanswered, why would you stop? It seems to be working fine for them.
It's pretty bizarre and dire times. We went from the creepy Koch brothers doing the their fake Tea Party stuff. Now suddenly, before the 2024 election, I saw a number: 70% of people on the internet were not people. It was all bots. 70% were all these influence machines trying to make people argue into echo chamber and then eventually become swayed to some nonsense.
It's when I was a kid, if you told me we were going to be living in a sci-fi movie, you'd be like, cool. I'm like, no, it's the lamest sci-fi movie you've ever seen. Everything is just terrible all the time. And there's nothing exciting.
You don't have a robot monkey sidekick and a jetpack.
Yeah, no, and there's no no hoverboards. That doesn't exist.
It's the whole boot on your face line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway, we're not there yet.
So Jason Gherkin is doing some disco on this one, right?
Yeah.
The Jason Gherkin disco.
Yeah, he works with Paul Malinowski every day at Massive Sound in Kansas City. They're constantly recording stuff. They have a secret cache of dozens of songs that they've recorded for just ideas that I hope they ever put out. But meanwhile, so they busted this out one of their days that they were in there tracking.
Nice. That's awesome.
And it's, you know, kind of like a fun change because suddenly you're like, wait, we're having a dance party about
right.
yeah.
It's a tonal shift, right, as they say. So this is what democracy looks like. The next one. Tell me about that one.
It's, you know, another one of those chants that busts out almost every protest. It happens every day across the country, and it just felt like Chris Enriquez, who is so good at locking a groove down, and
He really is.
We had a lot of fun doing that. It was just an effortless thing where it came together real quick, and I have to share video. I got video of his tracking. A lot of extra side projects that I haven't got around to yet because I'm like, oh, now I have to make a video for this.
Sure. Yeah. People
for
love
this
love
No
that,
Ice track, or we dropped the People United Will Never Be Defeated when suddenly there was this like priceless global footage of the drummers in Minneapolis doing this. So it was like, oh, well, I'm doing this right now.
You got to meet the
It's
moment.
just
Yeah,
you got to meet the moment.
Yeah.
But many side projects still to happen for sure. So that one is just kind of like a fun listen. It's meant to be another like a little bit more lighthearted vibe. The No Kings, No Tyrants, We Will Not Be Silent. That's the beginning of side B. You know, I think these No Kings events, it's correct. It's very good, like messaging. People can get on board with it. They're like, yeah, that's the whole Redcoats thing, right?
Yeah, it's pretty hard to argue against No Tyrants.
Who's going to argue that?
Yeah, right.
Actually, the Tyrant has a few good points. No, get out of here.
Yeah,
Nobody
they'll
wants to hear
they'll
that.
find a way.
Yeah, go lick some boots over there.
Yeah.
So that one, just the vibe of it, I actually did that one first. The heavy kind of backbeat of it is just like what I was hearing in my head, and it kind of like was where I was like, you could do this to all the chants.
Yeah.
So I did this like kind of dumb, like Plunder the Village drum beat to just make it slow and heavy, and then sent it to Greg Saunier of Deerhoof. And he sends back just like a jazz meltdown.
Which is his specialty, right? Like where it's like, oh man, what is that?
I did not. I don't know. I just didn't see it coming, even though I should have known.
Yeah.
But it's really fun. And then Matthias, I had him play super rigid cowbell on it, just to like kind of lock it down because Greg is like
going in and out and in and out. Yeah.
And it just works together nicely. It's another one that feels like a big group chant at a live event, like the People United kind of has that same feel.
One of the crazier shows that I ever went to was one of the only shows. He had a band with Zach Hill called Nervous Cop. It was just those two dudes playing drums, and that was the band. And they only did like 4 or 5 shows, and I drove him down for like one of them because one of them was Sacramento. So I got to see them do that at a cafe in Sacramento, and it was like, this is crazy because both those guys have such a unique style, and it's not the same style. And it was like, what is this going to be? And I'll tell you what it was. It's badass.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
But I was like, and like Greg's like, yeah, I don't quite know what it's going to be either. I was like, all right, well, then this true spirit of jazz, I'm sure it's going to be interesting, you know?
Oh, that's cool. I would love to hear that.
Yeah, I think they made I think they might have recorded one of them, but it was a pretty cool. Speaking of drum things.
Before I joined Caesar Risk in 1994, I was in a 2-drummer band, sometimes 3 drummers, a prog noise thing that no one ever heard on Cape Cod.
Nice.
And we did this for years, and so I miss the 2-drummer thing. I've done it a little bit here and there over the years since then, but I've been thinking about it and wanting to do it again. So I'm just really glad the way it ended up working out with this record happening.
Melvins are doing that. Well, they did last year as well, but they're doing this coming up with Tomahawk, and it's pretty neat, man. Like it's when it's done thoughtfully. and like done in a way that's
Yeah.
creatively. Like,
Agreed.
because I've seen it. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
why did 38 Special have 2 drummers?
Right. It's in case one gets hit by a meteor. I don't know. I mean, I don't really. Yeah, you don't need that.
I was so shocked after listening to my, $1
Special.
Columbia Records cassette tape of 38 Special, and then I saw a video of them, and I was like, "What?
What's happening here? What is this?"
Is the other one? Is he playing? Like,
Yeah,
how are there 2 drummers?
It's not strictly necessary. Is probably the nicest way we can say that. Right?
He was probably just a really good hang.
Exactly. He's just like, somebody's buddy. But
their buddy. Yeah.
Because there's and this is I just watched the Pavements, the Pavement.
Oh, I got to see that yet.
Kind of documentary, fake biopic documentary about the biopic. There's a musical, like it's insane. It's actually
Meta.
insane, but I loved it, and it's the perfect thing for that band. But it just reminded me of Gary Young, who is so idiosyncratic and so just like on his own thing, and then they started having Bob Nasanovich be extra stuff, including percussion. But it wasn't because they, granted, Steve Young, he liked to drink, so maybe that had some element to it as well. But it was just he's just a good hang. So do some extra percussion, fill in the blanks here and there. And so there's something to me, and as much as Gary Young is amazing, Steve West is a really good drummer, probably a much better drummer. But there's something about those early Pavement records. It's just it sounds like the whole thing could fall apart any moment, right?
Yeah.
But it's perfect at the same time. And it's
part of the charm.
Yeah, I mean,
it doesn't make sense in the rules of music why it works, but it freaking works.
I love the 2-drummer band, Idiot Flesh was at times, and Sleepy Time does a lot of that. And, the precision of something like King Crimson when they were doing 2 drummers. But I also grew up with seeing the Butthole Surfers and doing their more cathartic take on drumming. And even early Swans like Raleigh and Ted playing drums. I was really into that stuff, even though it's not necessarily very complex. It was just effective. It got me.
There's a forceful nature to it, and with Butthole Surfers, well, Swans too, but with Butthole Surfers, Pincus first was Teresa's probably a better drummer than King was. King is all self-taught, but the fact that with both of them going at the same time just added to this crazed nightmare circus of what the band was. That's you see that, you're your world is different now after you've seen that,
Yeah, I mean, that set the live show bar pretty high for me as a teenager in the 80s.
Sure, exactly, yeah.
Bands after that, I was like, nothing's even on fire.
Sorry, 38 Special. I don't know what to tell you. All right, Hands Off Our Democracy. That's the next song.
Hands Off Our Democracy. That
it's Blake.
It's Blake. And it was
former guest of this very show.
That's also, I was just trying to remember, that's also from Boston Common. A big May 2025 protest that happened. And same thing. I did sort of a simple rhythm to just hold down the cadence and the phrasing of the chant.
Yeah.
And then Blake delivered a jazz meltdown all over the top of it. And that one came out really fun. The extended mix, you get to hear more of him just going off for 10 minutes.
Yeah, there's a lot of it, yeah. Which is great. I mean, if it's, hey, if you got the these are all purpose-driven songs, right? If you have the purpose, it's the correct solution.
It was cool too, because I asked these people who I know are kind of like-minded, who are drummers that I grew up with over the years. I met Ian when were you old enough to drink in the 90s?
Just barely.
Yeah, and a lot of the drummers, the same thing. We played early shows together back when our bands were fledgling, or even in hardcore days, or before the Season Risk years. And so it's been cool to connect with these drummers about this project, but then also be dive into their catalog and what have they been doing for the last 30 years.
Yeah.
and listen to all this drumming by all these ridiculously talented drummers. It was fun diving back into the back catalog.
Well, and some of it's like Blake did that book, and I forgot to even talk to him about it when it was on the show. He talked about so much other. We got into Ladio Balaco. We got into, but he did that. I was like, that book is so interesting. It's like, wow, you literally wrote the book on rhythm.
Yeah.
What a great what a great bragging right that is.
Yeah.
I wrote the book on rhythm. Yeah.
It's funny. So all the drummers are all entirely different. Some are self-taught, like myself.
Yeah.
Some are like absolute rudiment monsters, like Matthias, schooled, and everything in between. But there was definitely a super like-mindedness with this group on this first record for sure.
Yeah, no, it's cool, and that kind of working together for a larger common cause, coming from a different place, kind of holds true, just for the different styles of techniques as well. It's great.
Yeah,
it's cosmopolitan in its way.
Yeah, right.
Stand Up, Fight Back. That's the next tune.
That came from the same protest, May 2025 in Boston. I was in Kansas City. Season Risk has been recording new songs whenever we can get together, and we got hired to do this weird private party in Kansas. And so we made it we turned it into a week in the studio.
Yeah, make use of the time together, right? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I live in the Boston area, and we're not all in the same city at the same time. So we got together, and Kliph Spurlock from Flaming Lips,
yeah,
was in town just for a few days. I think doing like a Beanon thing because he also drummed with Beanon, and so I was able to get together with him at our guitarist Dwayne Trower's recording studio, Weights and Measures Sound Lab in Kansas City, and do that track together. That was really fun. Kliph is just, a natural.
Yeah, cool guy. I was, I was very sad when he left Flaming Lips, which is a larger conversation. But I mean, and talk about big shoes to fill, right? I mean, especially back in the day before Softbolt and when Steven Droz was just drumming, it's like that guy was like beast.
One of the best shows I've ever seen was Flaming Lips in a tiny little club in Boston called Ground Zero. It's not there anymore. 1989, I believe. They came in, in their noise rock years.
Mm-hmm.
Tiny band on tour. I think Steel Pole Bathtub opened up for them.
Hell yeah.
And
wow.
So
that's like telepathic surgery onto priest-driven ambulance. Yeah, that's a good era.
Behind the drum kit, they put like airport strobe lights. The kind that bring the planes in. A wall of them. And then they filled the room with white fog so thick that you couldn't see your hand in front of your face. And then, of course, turned the strobe lights on and blasted them the whole time. And they had 10 oscilloscopes that they filled the room in a circle. So it was just this blinding, mesmerizing noise.
Been abducted by aliens, yeah.
And you saw these occasionally green oscilloscope waveforms coming out of the fog at you. They were
That's awesome. Yeah,
I saw they were recreating or elevating the Butthole Surfers live show. Yeah. Kind of overwhelmed. But
what an interesting arc that band has had.
It's cool. It's really cool what they did.
Yeah, I was actually going through and listening to some of those older Flaming Lips records just because I haven't heard these in forever, and I was like, God, these are still pretty badass. And it's somehow a little more mean than I remembered. I remembered hitting pretty hard. I was like, no, this is ruthless. This is real deal stuff here.
Yeah, they were great.
Anyway, Kliph was in a different era, but he brought so much to that band. I was sad to see him leave it. But great guy, great drummer.
Yeah.
Tell me about It's Time to Fight with Noah from Fax.
It's time to fight. Our people are united. I think that came again from the Boston Common event in the spring of 2025. He recorded it in Chicago, and he's just such a solid drummer, writes such cool parts. I love that band Fax.
They're great. And this is the rare case. They've been doing stuff for so long, too. And the freaking one that came out last year is like, it's one of your best records.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How'd you pull that off, man? That's great.
Man,
Pretty
I
cool.
swear, this music industry is so lame in so many ways because, you know, in so many of the bands and the musicians that play on this, so few of them are able actually to make a living doing this.
Yeah.
But like,
the truth.
Shiner in the 90s, you know, I was lucky enough to live in Kansas City when you could go out on a Tuesday night and see Giant's Chair and Boys Life. And then Wednesday night in some dive bar, it was Shiner and Hum opening up, you know. And when they didn't get signed with Tim Dow drumming and then they didn't get signed with Jason Gerken drumming, I was like,
what are we doing?
I need
what are you
a
looking
job.
for? Yeah.
I need like a real job because I mean we were making it work with our band and everything, but it was like, all right, I can see where this is going because if these guys are not getting record deals, no one is. Yeah. You know, unless they just play like either do something surprisingly creative, but also still very mainstream friendly, or somehow like find an angle. But you know, Noah Ledger has been drumming in great bands since the early 90s. And
it's very consistent.
One of those amazing drummers that should absolutely be, like everyone who played on this record, should be like retired and able to just do what they want because of their amazing musicianship. But still doing it.
I was a big Hurl fan. Too. Great band.
Yeah.
That was there's all kinds of he did Time and Mile Marker. Like that guy's done so much stuff.
Yeah, right.
You know, and like all like not the same sounding bands too. That's the other thing. It's like they're all like different kind of vibes. I got to see seen Shiner a bunch, of course, and you know, played with them and whatnot. But when they did that tour where Tim and Jason both came out, I was like, all right, this rules. Because I didn't know about him when Tim was playing with them because I lived on the West Coast. You know how like the egg is like how I like found out about them.
Yeah, that's true of a lot of people. That record kind of was like their breakout a bit, but
and then I had heard like, oh, there's this band Shiner. You should play with them next time you're out there. I'm like, okay, cool. And like that's all I knew. You know, like information just traveled differently back then. It was
this is true.
But I got to see, you know, it's like I thought that was so cool that they did like, you know, some of the Tim stuff and then like they, you know, tagged out like a wrestling match. Gerken came in, you know, I was like, this is badass. I love this. This is great.
Yeah. Tim Dow had a legendary metal band in the 80s, like a thrash post-punk thing that called Vade Victus and set the bar of like ridiculous drummers in Kansas City long before I ever arrived. And then it was just like everyone was trying to catch up with Tim Dow's drumming once I got there, it seemed like. And like you said, Noah jumped into a bunch of different bands. Ian has also done that. Like you jump in, you kind of have to learn a different drummer's style of drumming. I was talking to Jason Gerken about it, and we call it stunt drumming. Because, you know, I stepped in after he did that Perfect World album and had to learn all of his parts, but I also had to learn the parts of songs written by Tim Dow and other drummers before him.
Yeah.
And you know, Ian just went in and did that Sisters tour, and you have more coming. When is that?
In May. We're doing a week in May out on the East Coast.
Yeah. I will go see that. I will see.
Yeah, we're coming your way. Yeah.
Nice. We're getting kind of off track from the record here, but hey, it's all in the name of good fun, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So cool track, right? There's
Yeah, it's a great track. It's one of my favorites. I love how it turned out. And then the Disruptor track, I was thinking of just having like a tribal drum track on the record that is just like intentionally loud, heavy drums that you could play if you needed to do something like not let ice sleep overnight.
Yeah.
Or, a noise demonstration. So that's the track that Ian plays on. And
I was just going to say, Ian, you have thoughts about that?
Yeah, I mean, there was already kind of a lot going on, but I feel like it was like a good challenge. It was very like 16th note, tribal. And so it was like a fun challenge to kind of fit into that and like, do some counterparts, but also doubling up at times and make it more impactful. And it was fun. So, I mean,
Ian was the obvious choice for that one too, because he has this like very like specificity, an ability to like write drum riffs.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That I'm more like a feral drummer.
No, I always say that. I say that about Crover. It's like his drum stuff is like it's a riff. It's like it's there's a musicality to it, right?
Yeah.
Like, and it's funny how that works. Where there's not a right or wrong way to do it, but it's like oh yeah, that's you could like sing that part. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone who hasn't seen that Melvin's documentary, you should definitely watch it. That came out great.
It did. I got cut out from it, but that's fine.
Oh.
Look, I was like, I don't know how you're gonna fit this much stuff in a freaking documentary, man. This is so much information, But yeah, it did turn out. It turned out badass.
Yeah,
it did so great with the ice cream truck. Like giving away the ice cream. It's like, sure, yeah, let's end it that way.
Yeah,
so
it is so good. And
anyway, ice cream, everybody. Thank you.
their whole take on how to like make a living in this industry.
Yeah. That's
with the whole like specialized merch thing, and they're brilliant at that.
Just the constant, traveling Etsy store of it all, and like that's like it's no accident. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. So we're also going to be playing together sometime soon. I don't know if we can talk about it yet.
Oh yeah. I wonder when that might be.
I mean, I know that I'm allowed to say that we're very psyched to finally have Season Risk playing Caterwaul.
Yes, we're excited to have you. That's going to be great.
And that night, it has quite a lineup. I'm really psyched the way it ended up working out.
It's pretty great, if I do say so myself. I was like, that's gonna be a hell of a night. Wow. Season of Risk playing Caterwaul 2026. June 5th, 6th, and 7th is when it's happening. Tickets on sale now. Look, in interest of full disclosure, we kind of put a hold on planning things because of this stuff. Like, hey, let's plan a big rock and roll party while there's a literal occupation going on,
Yeah.
Read the room, bro.
I was kind of skeptical. I was like, is it really still happening? Is it going to be escalating there?
Yeah. Or
is it going to be winding down by then? I was like 50-50, not sure.
Well, yeah, you never know, right? But it is on board, back on track, and
we're doing the thing.
We are going to indeed be doing the thing. And I also, the argument I always make too is that, look, the first thing fascists try to do is, stop art and stop freedom of expression. That's like the first thing they go for. So it's more important to do, even if it seems like, oh, this isn't as important as, this. No, it is actually as important as that, because you cannot staunch that creative wellspring, and you should not. I mean, yeah, to a certain degree, it's like, read the room there too, but but like you have to, and that's why I think projects like this are so cool, because it's a melding of both of those things, right? This is very creative, frankly, I've been my entire not even adult life, like from a teenager on, been like listening to records and been into quote unquote weird stuff. I don't know of any record quite like this. Crazy. That's awesome. I've heard a lot of records over the years, my friends. So there's something kind of special about that.
I don't know if it's going to turn out to be like as obscure and like a deep cut as like a sound effects record. Like in 1950s, like here's a recording of thunderstorms.
The Foley work.
Next track, creaky floorboard. I will admit that I used to play those records over and over.
Oh yeah, yeah, that rocked.
But yeah, I have a feeling we have 3 more years. We probably have more drumming, and there will be live events. It's going to happen that we're going to be in the same place at the same time with 2 drum sets and do some of these live events. I'm kind of putting one together for June. After the record is released, we're going to do one in Kansas City at least.
Nice.
But yeah, it's still coming together. We got to do it until we don't have to do it anymore. We can go do other stuff.
Absolutely. So, of course, the record, it's coming out for Record Store Day, right? So that's limited run of vinyl, like I think clear with black smoke. I think right? I think
they came out badass. We did them at Third Man Pressing because
hell yeah,
Jack White has been really outspoken and excellent.
Yeah.
I was leaning towards doing it there anyway, but after he started speaking out, he was kind of one of the first to start speaking out. I was like, all right, we're definitely doing it there.
I'm pretty stoked. The Nashville date of our tour, we're playing the venue, the Third Man venue, Blue Room, and I'm like, oh, awesome.
Yeah.
I was there once, but like just like super briefly. Like we had time, like, oh, let's look at it. Okay, we saw it. Bye.
Yeah.
He's built a cool little. That's a good. Well, be careful how I phrase this. That's a good someone who has done well in music, using their resources to build community, kind of thing.
Yeah, completely.
Really?
He's like leading by example for sure. He's got a whole cottage industry happening there.
Yeah,
it's
pretty
great.
It's pretty admirable, and then it makes it more noticeable when certain parties don't do that kind of thing. Where it's like, well, you can be doing more, but okay.
I'm gratified. I feel glad that suddenly there's a wave of artists like getting involved in speaking out, because you said, the first thing they do is like cut the funding for PBS and NPR and like all of the arts, and shut down art at the Kennedy Center, and try to shut up the talk show hosts and the comedians, because if you can laugh at the fascists and like point out how dumb some of what they're doing is, then you can like keep the story from going down their idiotic rabbit hole.
Well, and that's I just watched that Mel Brooks documentary. Like that, there's like a 2-part Mel Brooks documentary, and that is so fascinating to see. 'Cause of course, I know a lot about that dude, right? But like, yeah, just to see like that element of things and how steadfast he was to the resolved morally towards that kind of comedy. Even when people are like, "Whoa, dude, I don't know," and it's like, "No, I'm gonna do it. This is what I'm gonna do," and he just always stay true to his own compass and that. And look, man, Springtime for Hitler in Germany, amazing. I mean, that still goes.
Yeah.
Like, is it bold? Oh, you better believe it is.
I mean, there are all these like subconscious influences that you don't even realize. Like George Carlin has been doing this forever. Was doing this for the last decade of his life, or the last 15 years of his life.
Yeah.
And yeah, grew up with so many of those good influences. It's really important that the arts get involved. And, we're doing our little bit.
Well, and I think what's cool about this project too is that it's a way to show that you can, without learning like a new tool set of things necessarily, right? Like you can still like, no, this is if you play in a band, we're recording a track. okay, we're going to make a record. We're going to and it's like, we're going to make a video, and it's all things that you can do. Like, they haven't been able to successfully take that away yet. I'm sure they would like to try. And I love to see creativity deployed in that way for like the greater good. And I think it's always worth celebrating.
I mean, one of the most expert executions of exactly that was that Bad Bunny Super Bowl show.
Sure. Yeah.
That was so
talk about using a platform.
So brilliantly done. The way
it
was so musical, but the videography was nearly impossible. I do not understand how they pulled that.
Yeah.
The walking through live shot off, just so perfectly done. And then the way the politics are just like subtly interwoven, but it ends with this like general positive takeaway was just.
Yeah, they went for the big fish on that one and nailed it. And you love to see it.
Yeah.
So yeah, record's great. I'll post all the social media for the Drum Corpse project too. You guys got a Blue Sky. There's a YouTube with as you said, like more videos and things coming. Anything else? Record Store Day. That's when the vinyl comes out. You can also order it. You can get it on pre-order. Right, May 1st, I think. Right.
Yeah, we're kind of like
staggering a little,
beholden to and focused on the Record Store Day. Like,
sure.
If you can get the vinyl in a record store, please do. Those are the ones we want to get out first.
It's kind of be nice if record stores continue to exist too. Wild idea. But
yeah, exactly. And then after that, we're gonna stage some other releases.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you can pre-order digital as well, and then it's going to be on all the horrific walled gardens that everyone's locked themselves into.
Yeah, we did also make compact discs for some requests. The kids like the physical media, man.
They do.
I hope this ends up on cassettes.
Sure. Yeah, people love tapes. I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
didn't have that on my bingo card either, but here we are.
It's good because I have a basement full of cassette tapes and VHS, so they're back.
Oh, dude, yeah, like past these sound blankets, it's like there's the CDs, there's the cassettes, there's the VHS, everybody, the DVDs, got them all. What do you need? Which dead medium do you need?
It's all coming back.
It's all coming back. Laserdisc, probably got some of those.
Yeah.
Sure.
Mini disc.
Mini disc. That's right. DATs. Yeah. Got some tune shape over there.
Let's hope that DATs don't come back.
That's the one. Yeah. If DATs come back, that's going to be a drag. Sorry. Peace and love, but yeah. Good. All right, fellas, it's been great. Thanks so much for being on the show. It's been a blast. I'm really stoked for this to come out and for the world to hear it. And I'll do my best to kind of amplify that as best I can. And you're doing good work with it. Since it's the last thing I ever do on the show. It's the only canned question I ever ask, right? So, Ian, you're the less talkative, so I'm going to have you go first. So you can choose to interpret this however you like.
Okay.
But why do you do what you do?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't even know if it's a choice at this point. Like I just I've been drumming since I was a little kid, and I know when I don't do it, like my mix is off, so I kind of feel like I have to do it, which might sound dramatic, but it's true. I'm a better person if I'm engaged with a musical project, specifically behind the kit.
Nice. David Silver, same question.
Same answer. 100%. I did try quitting drums a couple of times, like to just leave it behind and focus on other stuff, and your mental health does not flourish when you're not hitting stuff.
Yeah.
There's that physicality of drumming. But yeah, for me, there was actually, I definitely was drumming on pots and pans before I thought about playing drums, and then banging on pianos at my grandma's house. But then there was a pivotal moment when the song Iron Man by Black Sabbath froze me in my tracks, and I was standing on the coffee table with socks on, like freaking out, dancing to this tribal ending of Iron Man, Bill Ward drumming. And I was like, I want to play that, exactly that I want to play. So that like made me go, put on headphones and start playing along to AC/DC and pick it up. And then, I just always, I'm a better person if I'm playing drums, 100%.
Gentlemen, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure having you. So glad we got to do this.
Thank you so much.
That's fun.
And see both of you pretty soon.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah.
Take care.
Exactly. All right. See you guys.
All right, there they go. Ian and David. Drum Corpse is the name of the record. We're going to hear one of the tunes right now. Remember, you can pick this up on Record Store Day. If you want to support your local record store, that's a nice thing to do, right? And this is Drum Corpse. Here we go.
The people united will never be defeated. 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 The people united will never be defeated.
All right, a little drum corpse for you. A little drum corpse for you, baby. That's The People United Will Never Be Defeated, Volume 1. Resistance Drums. You can go to DRUMCORPSE, Corpse, C-O-R-P-S-E, .bandcamp.com. Get it, Drum Corpse. Yeah. Anyway. You can also pick it up, pick up vinyl of it, put up by Skinsuit Communications. And get it if you have a record store near you. One would imagine that you do. Get it for Record Store Day. It's a Record Store Day release. So that's the day that we celebrate the physical format and the places that still support that. April 18th, 2026. Go check that out, please. All right, I'd like to thank David and Ian so much for being on the show. Deeply appreciated. You have been listening to Conan, Neutron, Protonic, Reversal. Thank you so very much for listening to it. The show airs Thursdays, 8 Eastern, 7 Central, 6 Mountain, 5 Pacific, streaming live, YouTube and Twitch, podcasted later everywhere. No ads, no sponsors, no kidding. If you like the show and you want to get episodes sooner, though,
Signing off.
$1 a month at patreon.com/Protonic Reversal will gladly achieve that goal and helps keep the lights on this joint. Appreciate it now more than ever. Thanks for people liking, subscribing to our platform of choice, leaving a review. That helps people discover the show. Beats back the algorithmic overlords. Appreciate.
50,000 watts of power.
Next episode, Dwayne Dennison of Tomahawk and Jesus Lizard coming back. Pretty stoked to talk to that guy. Falco from McCluskey immediately after that. So, bringing in some heat before I take a month off to go tour around the country. Yeah, anything else? No. I don't think so. So stay safe out there.
Can you hear me now?
And check you later.
Out on Route 128, we're dark and lonely. I got my radio on. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Welcome to my top 10. I'd like to thank our sponsor. But we haven't got a sponsor. Not if you were the last man on earth. She was prepared to prove it. This one goes out to a special girl. But there is no special girl. It's the end of radio. The last announcer plays the last record. The last what? Leaves the transmitter. Circles the globe in search of a listener. Can you hear me now?
really broadcasting if there's no one there to receive? It's the end of radio. As we come to the close of our broadcast day, got my radio on. Can you hear me